Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. The prize is the soul.
All right, we live.
We live.
We live,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. We got a topic for y'all. Yeah, we gotta get into this Candace Owens and Kanye shit. There's a lot of things been coming out about this ever since that event happened with the Charlie Kirk assassination. And the thing about it is, really haven't heard nothing from Kanye on the Charlie Kirk situation. Because even though he wasn't like close with Kanye, but Candace was close with Kanye, and she, they met on a few occasions, but you really never heard him really speak out about this yet. But from our understanding, oh, hold on, I was trying to do this real quick. All right. Oh shit.
He might be scared to talk out about it.
Yeah, that right. I was thinking that too. I was actually thinking that, like, dang, he got assassinated. Maybe he don't really want to speak out about it. But Candace Owens been on it every day. She's been speaking on this every day on her podcast, and she's been getting threats her damn self because she's starting to expose some very powerful people that Charlie Kirk was in. Basically, his people that was basically financially sponsoring him. And this looked like he wanted to get away from that. He realized the people wasn't the people he thought they were, and they was pressuring him, on certain things. And I don't know, man. Up to the day he got assassinated, Candace revealing text messages and everything. So we gonna get into it. We gotta get into this, bro. So she actually saying she got all the text messages that from Kanye that she was getting, the same ones Charlie Kirk was sending her from the same type of people. Kanye was also getting those the same type of threats, same type of pressure, content, text messages being pressured to stop talking, stop saying certain things. And so we gonna get into it, man. We gotta get into this real quick. But I wanted to start off with the Candace Owens exposing those text messages, which is crazy. So 2 days before Charlie Kirk got assassinated, she had got the text messages because they was in this group chat. She said it was like 7 or 8 of them in the group chat, and they was basically like drilling Charlie Kirk in the chat and shit. And she revealed, I think, 1 or 2 of the names so far, which she's planning on releasing all the other names that was in that group chat. And they was kind of on his back about some shit. So we gotta get into it. Let me pull these
They
Jones
was
up.
on his back because he basically said he don't support Israel no more.
Right.
That's why. That's what that was about. Those chats were about.
Right. Let me see if I can pull these up. I hope this is the ones though. All right, let me pull this up. Gee. Yeah, I think it's some shit going on behind the scenes. Definitely a covert war going on. We always say that shit, that it's a war going on at the top, because it's power grab. I think this is the one right here. Let me see. Owens believes the killing involved foreign actors and literal actors, ran like the military style operation. At least 4 decoys. Let me see. I think this might be it.
But I want to tell you that I actually believe that this was a military hit that involved foreign actors and also literal actors. I believe that day ran something akin to JFK's assassination. I believe that there were therefore multiple decoys on the ground. I do not believe, just so I'm clear here, that the person who was walking up the stairs killed Charlie. In fact, my suspicion is that photo was not even shot on the same day. I do not believe that the person who ran across Losey rooftop killed Charlie. I think it was another decoy. I do not believe that shot came from a Losey Center at all. And we all know that decoy George Zinn didn't kill Charlie. And I received an interesting tip about him as well, that he's much more connected than what meets the surface. He potentially has connections to the federal department, familial connections to the federal department, and we are prodding that. It's getting interesting. Anyway, that would suggest that there are thus a total of 4 decoys, like George Zinn, staircase guy, maroon shirt guy, and Losey Center guy, none of which I believe actually pulled the trigger. Call it a hunch. I think it's much more likely that Lance Twiggs is the one that is walking in that maroon shirt. His build is nothing like Tyler Robinson's build. Lance Twiggs is thinner. And obviously I'm speculating here,
Yeah, sure.
but I believe Tyler Robinson was involved, and he was in fact driving around campus on that day, therefore assisting in the costume changes, likely picking up clothing. And as we broke the story, Tyler was seen at Dairy Queen. And what was he seen doing, as I told you? Dumping clothing in the cemetery beside that Dairy Queen. So I think that is what his involvement is limited to. That was his job, to get rid of clothing. It's completely a nonsense to think that a person who had never killed anyone was high on adrenaline after a kill and decided to eat Dairy Queen. That doesn't even make sense biologically speaking. There was going to be an adrenaline measure that kicks in after you kill animal, let alone a person, let alone having it be your first kill. And you're like, he just decided to go to DQ, sit down, write some poetic text messages. It's why they're freaking out about that Dairy Queen leak, because it disrupts their narrative. One of many things that disrupts their narrative. But what about Lance Twiggs? What I want to tell you that I maintain, I actually
Yeah, somebody was saying is they believe in some act. Yeah, that's what she just said. She believe in some actors involved with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like some type of script being ran and some shit. Like, how the way it played out, it kind of geared towards that. I tell you the truth. I don't know, bro. It's a lot of skeptical stuff, a lot of questions that need to be answered as far as with when it comes to that. And that dude, that for like we said, that first dude they showed with the blurred pictures with the black shirt with like the flag on his shirt, whatever. That definitely wasn't that Tyler Robinson dude. I'm trying to find these text messages.
They never gonna get to the bottom of this because the FBI is probably behind it in the first place. The people that's supposed to be tracking it down and solving the case are the people who's behind it. So you'll never get the truth.
Right.
And that's how most things are ran in America. The people who's supposed to be doing something about the problems that's going on are the ones that's causing the problems. So you ain't gonna never get no truth.
Jeez.
It's like you ain't gonna never see the real Epstein client list. And the thing is, people ain't paying attention enough or even care to even put enough pressure on them to even for that to even happen, for them to even bring out that list.
Right.
It's like and for them to bring out that list, they would probably shut whole society down before they bring that list out.
Yeah, because there's some very powerful people on there.
They
So
turn the internet off before they let that happen.
yeah, they stage some type of big event.
Some terrorist
Yeah,
events or
yeah,
another type COVID, or they shut the internet down.
right. I kind of feel like that's what they kind of distracting the people from, anyways. Like the actual Epstein client list, they keep putting out all these bits surrounding the Epstein, the Epstein client list for what the files, because the news they putting out like information on just Epstein and the death and whether it's he was killed or whether he committed suicide, and they keep putting out stuff about evidence revolving around Epstein going into his cell the night he got killed. Like they keep dropping those type of bits getting us to focus on Epstein, but they ain't no one's really speaking on the client list though. Like mainstream media is not speaking on the client list at all. You know what I mean? So they keep throwing Ghislaine in here and Epstein in here. We like, yo, Ghislaine is in jail. Epstein is dead. What about the list? The people that's on the client list. Shouldn't that be a concern to them?
Man, that ain't no concern to them. It's only a concern to them because they don't want themselves to be exposed. because they on that list. And they probably destroyed everything else. That's why they say it don't exist. They say, oh, that the client list don't even exist. There's Epstein files, but there's no client list.
Yeah. It's just no.
Yeah, we know that's we know that's staged.
Right.
S- Talking about Ghislaine, all them, and Epstein, and they did all these crimes, but they ain't got no clients. So it's just a bunch. So I guess Ghislaine and Epstein did everything. They ain't
Right.
have no clients that they had those people basically service to. They did it all themselves. All them different victims is just them two. That don't even make no sense. That don't even make no sense, man. That's crazy. And this Kirk guy, they ain't gonna never get to the bottom of that. And the thing is, he already influenced enough people to basically they basically gave Kirk more power by taking him out.
Right.
Cause
Right.
now I got more people talking about him that wasn't talking about him before.
Right. That's true. It's like make him a martyr. So I guess his because he was more so influencing the more so the generation Z's and shit, more the younger generation. And yeah, he had a big following. So I was trying to get these text messages real quick. I thought I had them in the one video, but I'm gonna just have to pull them up straight from the page and shit. All right. All right, let me see what this one is real quick.
Policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages,
Yeah,
emails,
this
private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real. Okay. I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've ranged it. I sent it to journalists, text messages, and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from. But I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents.
Yeah, so she getting her ducks in order just in case, you know what I mean? They try anything slick. But that's only gonna bring more attention to the situation. Like that'll be too obvious. You know what I mean? If something happened to her based off the fact that, you know what I mean, she been out here exposing these would be clowns from behind the scenes and shit, then that's only gonna make shit even more suspicious. Like
What's going on? We know what's going on is actually bigger than Kirk
right,
and Candace and Kanye and all of them. Because you gotta think about it. It's time for the masses to step up. Now we know the government and everybody is so corrupt. Why ain't we doing nothing? Why are we still paying taxes to them? Why are we still supporting they bad behaviors? Because they messed up everything. The country's messed up. Both sides of the government. I don't go. Both parties, all sides of the government, f this country up. And now to the point where people just sitting back and watching all the corruption unfold, and we still allowing them to rule over our lives. At this point, you got to blame the general public. At this point, everybody know everybody knows that this government is so corrupt and can't be trusted. can't be trusted with our tax dollars, can't be trusted with the power that they wield. Like we can't trust them at all.
Right. Yeah, because I think Kirk knew some inside information. That's why he was taken out because you gotta realize he was moving up the ranks. So the more you move up, the more you exposed to more things, but the more you gotta give up something too as well. Like they just not gonna let you because they gotta have basically have dirt on you. Not just dirt, but then you gotta be, vetted and basically, you know, hazed like the goddamn fraternity. So I'm thinking like he seen some shit. You know how you hear them stories about people that been exposed to some things and they kind of like they can't really turn a blind eye to it because if you really a truth teller, you gonna want to tell what you seen. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna just turn a blind eye to it. So they can get a lot of people to turn a blind eye to things. That's how they able to move up through the ranks. But some people, it's only going to reach but so high because they gonna wind up, finding out some things and spill it all. I just think the rhetoric Charlie Kirk was speaking out at first was like, all right, well, you ain't really, you out there preaching division anyway, so you good. You know what I mean? He's on the good side of things because he was out there preaching, division. They love when they sponsor somebody that can go out there with a big influence and preach division. That's what they love that. But when you start speaking on things that's more closer to you know what they got going on, then chances are you got a target on your back. So I'm believing he's seeing some shit, bro, that rubbed his soul or spirit the wrong way, and I believe the Epstein shit is definitely tied to it. I'm not going to just rule that out with this situation. I believe the Epstein situation is tied to it because Epstein was going around getting dirt on all these the people that was on that list was people he was sent to get dirt on anyway. That's why they was calling him a Messiah agent because his thing was to get dirt on people so they can be blackmailed and basically, you know, uh, told what to do. Basically, like, listen, we got this on you. If you ain't willing to play ball, look, we got this on you right here. And they main thing is using that main. They love using the media to destroy the same people they built up. So all they would have did was start putting propaganda pieces out on the people that didn't want to play ball, and then something might mysteriously happen to them. I mean, we see the patterns over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
All right, everybody know how wicked this government is. Rather
Right.
people believe that Charlie Kirk stuff was staged and he didn't really get killed, and people saying they probably changed his identity
Yeah,
like Epstein did. And even if you think all that, you're accepting the fact that this government is so corrupt that they would even do something like that. So why are we still even listening to this government, knowing that they waging war against us? Like they assassinating all the leaders that form up. They poisoning all the food. They destroying us through this fake medical stuff that they got going on. We already know I'm talking about the jabs and all that. That stuff is making people sick. Like, why are we still trusting this government? The COVID stuff was a staged event. We all know that that was just a bad flu, and they claimed that because the flu had disappeared around that time. So it's a lot of just different corrupt shit that this
yeah,
government been caught doing, and everybody knows it. Like, everybody knows it. It's not hidden anymore. Yeah, Kirk, it probably was a military assassination, and the feds had something to do with it, and Israel had something to do with it. All right, we know that. Now what we gonna do about it? That's the question. Because we can sit here, everybody can sit up and talk about this information all day, and the government is just going to keep operating in its wicked ways. What are we going to do about it now?
yeah,
We know they're using our tax dollars to bomb countries up, occupy countries, using it to do dirty deals. They doing a lot of the politicians are doing inside trading. They working closely with the corporations, a revolving door from politics to big corporate conglomerates. All of that is just a mix. It's all corrupt. And it don't matter what the hell political party you represent or anything, is corrupt every direction. The Epstein shit went down. We know that they protecting people that's with inside the government that's probably on that list. They also protecting other people like that's in big corporate positions. They protecting them that's on that list. Like we know that client list exists. Everybody knows what Epstein was doing. Now what we gonna do about it? What we gonna do about it? Everybody
Right.
knows that these motherfuckers is corrupt. Now what? What is the masses gonna do about it? We just gonna keep arguing about who's gonna run the Oval Office,
Right.
who we gonna put in there next, what corrupt asshole we gonna put in there next. That's all we gonna keep doing, just arguing back and forth about who could run we just arguing about who could be corrupt the best. That's all. That's all that's going on because I don't care who the hell you put in there. They're gonna be wicked and corrupt because they got to be in order to be put in there. And the way
Right.
I'm seeing
And
it's
truth
just a
about the pressure
reflection
he
of
was
the
facing.
people.
Right.
It's just a reflection of the people. The people are putting these wicked individuals in place, and the people are funding these wicked individuals. We're funding these wicked individuals. We keep supporting their bullshit. We sit here and we talk about how wicked they are, but then we support their bullshit at the same time.
All right,
So what
let
we
me
gonna
play
do
this
about it
real
as a
quick. Hold on.
collective?
All right, let me get to this real quick.
Take a look.
What we gonna do about it?
Writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, 2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Then somebody writes, the donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat. Okay. So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell in the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that?
Them niggas are scared. That's why they ain't talking. They scared. Like, come on now. They didn't seen this man catch a bullet to the neck. That was the assassin done in the public just to keep people quiet, just to send a message. Like anybody talking out, we you know what I'm saying? And that you gotta realize him. He was running with the same people I believe he's running with the same people that killed him. Just be honest. You know what I mean? So the way they want to get a message out there to anybody else, they feel like they need to, you know, put pressure on to be quiet. They just use him as an example in the media. You know what I mean? Basically, like you said, blood sacrifices, right? You know what I'm saying? Blood
It's gonna
sacrifices
be
and
blood
shit like that.
sacrifices. It's gonna be
Yep.
blood sacrifices because the people allow it to be blood sacrifices. We know what they're doing now. Majority of the people
We said
know how corrupt
Hollywood
this
full of
government is,
facts.
bro.
Yep.
The people know how corrupt this government is. So I don't even understand why the people are still sitting back and allowing them to operate.
I think it's going to take um you know some real trials and tribulations to happen before people actually be able to wake up. It's gonna have to be some shit that really happened that's gonna affect people in a major way. And I ain't just talking about no COVID shit and none of that. It's gonna take something it's gonna take some supernatural shit to happen for people to wake the fuck up, bro. Be honest, cause people asleep at the wheel right now, bro. Like, hey, I don't think it's anything right now that's gonna make people wake up unless it's something that, something that's supernatural happening. You know what I'm saying? That's
Because
gonna
while
make
we
people
all
wake
sitting
up.
back just talking about the shit, the wicked is out there actually putting things into
Yeah,
action.
yeah, the wicked is gonna
So
be
we
the
just
wicked
sitting there
regardless.
like the general public who are awake to this.
Yeah, I think you cut
But
out.
the wicked is
There
always
you go.
busy putting things into action, constantly assassinating people, constantly bombing up, killing countries, killing up people, and everything. Like it's just nonstop with them, constantly stealing our money and sending it to basically terrorists. It's funny how our government be claiming that they looking for terrorists, but they be the ones that be creating
You're
the terrorists.
terrorizing everything, right?
They create
Going
the
on
terrorists. They take our
and,
tax dollars and basically fund
pol-
terrorism, and
and
then
police
tell
the
us they
world.
going after terrorists. Yeah, and tell us that they going after terrorists that they themselves are the ones that created the terrorists.
Yeah, our tax dollars is helping them police the world. Our tax dollars be going to shit that we don't even agree to.
Bro, just
How,
think
you know
about
what I
the
mean? Like
terrorists
we
that
don't.
we've been going after, bro. All the terrorists we've been that they
They all been working for
so-called
them.
went after, they all worked for the United States
Yeah,
government at
they
one
all work
time.
for them.
They were
Yeah,
all being funded. Even Osama bin Laden was funded when he was an Afghan and they was going against Russia and all that. And the United States funded him.
gave
United
them the
States
weapons
funded
and everything.
Saddam before
Yeah,
weapons and everything. They
yep.
funded Saddam and then they end up going there roping him. Like they fund everybody that all the boogeymen that they basically just like they fund Epstein. They funded Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein funded. Yeah, he
And
was
now he
100% funded.
now he's dead boogeyman. You know what I mean? But he was funded by our government too. Like that's the
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Like we see how wicked they are. We see all the shit that they do constantly. Just like all the major
Mhm.
drug dealers and all they funded them too. They
Yeah,
funded
even
them too.
yeah,
That
they
came out.
right. Yeah, they spoke. Even the drug dealers that was left alive to talk about it, or they even
Yeah,
exposed that they was one time work. They did. Some of them didn't know. Some of them did that they was working for the government.
for the government. Yeah,
Like the whole Frank Lucas thing with him ship bringing in Vietnam heroin from Vietnam inside soldiers,
that was a
dead soldiers
government
coffin.
operation.
That's government because you wouldn't even be able to do that without
Right.
government. You know what I'm saying?
Government
You
operation.
you wouldn't be able to transport no kilos and tons of heroin from Vietnam to America inside dead soldiers' caskets if that wasn't government sponsored.
So they create the war on drugs, but then they also create the big drug dealers that bring in the drugs.
Right,
You see what we saying? Like it's so corrupt. Like why are we even? Why is this
right.
even a topic anymore? Now it's time for action. We gotta get these corrupt motherfuckers out of power.
I think it's gonna have to take people just simply just saying no. No, no, no. We don't want our tax dollars going to this. No, we don't want to pay taxes to this. Like y'all like literally going into countries and just ripping countries apart, wiping out everything, anything moving, just so y'all can go in there and rebuild. So they using so that's crazy because they got a whole scheme going on because
Yep.
using our tax dollars to basically, break these countries down to rebel, wipe out all of the natives in that country, right? And taking the tax dollars to rebuild as well.
Oh, don't forget the most important part: installing a puppet into power.
Put a puppet in
A
place.
lot of those countries, when they go over there and they take over those countries, the next person that come into power usually works for the CIA. The CIA control a lot of those foreign leaders out there, and that's their job. Their job is to go in, destroy, rebuild, and install a puppet that'll listen to what they say. We all know this. We all know that the CIA and them work for the central banks because you gotta
Mhm.
follow the money. It's the people that's able to create money out of thin air and loan it to governments. Those are the ones that's doing all this shit. They're the ones that's behind all the moves that's being made. They the type one. Those are the ones who be funding Epstein because they able to work through the government and the government works through them because they contracted with the government and they're just like private. They're not really government. but they able to loan money to government, and they able to basically put people on like
Yeah,
Epstein and all of them to operate.
yeah, you talking about the central banks?
Yeah, that's who's doing
Yeah,
the shit. That's
yeah,
who's
the
doing the
central
shit.
banks. Yeah, because the central banks are private. They are
Yeah,
private.
but they
Private
contracted with all the
entities.
governments around the
Yeah,
world.
they private entities. Contract that. Not only that, the gun making corporations as well
Facts.
are private, but they fund our government and other governments around the world. They supply them with the weapons because they contracted in. So yeah,
It's corrupt.
yeah,
One
it's
big
like
ass
we
corrupt
paying
ring,
for
bro.
we paying for operations that's happening across other in other countries. We paying for those for those operations. That's,
Hmm.
it's our tax dollars going into paying these other countries to go invade other countries, take them over, wipe them out, and then rebuild. It's like they expanding their territory. You're starting to see them going to countries that they wasn't going into before. Like, and these countries looking like, why y'all so close to our damn borders over here? What y'all plan on doing? They know exactly what they about to do, bro. They trying to expand because they want to build these new infrastructures. They want to build the new infrastructure to go along with the new financial system, to go along with the new, agriculture world. Like they want to build a whole new world, and they trying to build it fast as hell. That's why they going through all these countries and wiping trying to wipe everything out, moving because they want to rebuild. So if you think Trump bringing these soldiers in America just to be fighting crime on the streets, where they could just hire local police and state police to take care of that, national guards if they need be, but he's bringing an actual marines.
Exactly.
Like, bro, you trying to? We know it's a war, and he's going to say, we need to. He's basically saying we're going to wage war on American citizens. That's not going along with the agenda. Basically,
Pretty
that's what
much.
they doing. You know what I mean? So, but I don't understand because the military, not all of them is going to be on board with it because they got family members that live here as well. So they're not going to be on board with that 100%. So it's going to be some pushback behind that. That's why he hired 300 military people here, 300 to go here, 300 to go there. Like, you know what I mean? He's not everybody's going to go along with it.
And he's just putting a band-aid on the problem because, all right, look at these young kids. Because he's saying that he's sending them over there to put the crime to get the crime rate down, right? Well,
Yeah,
how are these young kids able to have these switches and these military grade weapons? He needs to start there and find out which one of these weapon companies is leaking all those weapons on the street. Like, how
he
are
ain't
people
gonna do
getting
that.
access? Start there.
He
You're
ain't
just
gonna
gonna
do
put
that.
them on the street to disrupt
All
the
right.
people who are basically don't even know where shit come from. It just arrives and they able to get it. Because just think about it. It's the same thing with the crack epidemic and all that. Yeah, I mean, you had to crack down on where it's coming from, and that was from the CIA. The CIA was the one
Yeah,
that was bringing in the cocaine and the crack
right. So you had
to
Freeway Ricky
so
Ross
so it's the
expose
same
that.
thing with these
And
guns, it's the
yeah,
same thing with the drugs, it's the same thing with everything else that's illegal that boosts the crime rate. It's because some government shield is out there, some rogue government agent is out there basically opening up the
Ol-
pipeline
Oliver
to
North type
basically
of
bring in drugs and guns and
more,
everything else into the
yeah, more
communities.
m- more Oliver Norths.
Yeah, Oliver Norths, yup, all them type of
More of
individuals.
them,
Yeah,
more Oliver Norths and
yeah. So he
Blandones
need to
and
start
all these
there.
different people. Yeah,
He's sending the troops to basically go after the people that's the lowest on the pyramid, niggas on the street.
right.
Like local and state police can deal with that. You need to be sending a task force out to take out the people that's rogue within the government that's allowing all these guns and drugs on the streets. Because it ain't no nigga on the street that's bringing in tons and tons of fetty and tons
Hold on.
and all his military grade weapons. It ain't no niggas that's doing that.
Yeah,
Just like
well,
they created that
yeah,
propaganda story to make you think that Frank Lucas acted alone by shipping drugs through
right,
soldiers' caskets. We
right,
know
yeah,
damn
right.
well that was a government operation. We know
Yeah,
damn
you
well
wouldn't be able to
that was
do that. Oh,
intelligence
right.
operation, military intelligence operation to bring in the drugs. And they only
I
bring
mean,
that
they
stuff
actually
in
did
just
show
so they
that in the
can
movie
wage a
though.
war against
Yeah,
us.
they did show some of that in the movie that they was paying, military personnel to help get the heroin, transport the heroin. So
Well,
they
that's where
did
we
show
need
a
to
little.
start.
They did show a glimpse of that, but they didn't really show how deep the CIA was involved. Um, Snowfall did. Snowfall actually showed how deep the CIA be involved with. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Setting up these operations with the big drug dealers in the area. Like, yeah, Snowfall actually exposed that. Freeway Ricky Ross actually exposed that the real Ricky Ross actually exposed how Oliver North was working with the Nicaraguans, basically to use drug money from over here to fund the Nicaraguans. You know what I mean? And they whole organization they had going on, and
To
Oliver North
overthrow the
was involved with
government
that.
over there so
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
install a puppet.
you're right.
That's what it was all about.
Same thing they did with moving heroin out of Afghanistan to America. They was using the heroin money from America to basically fund, niggas like Osama and them to basically, overthrow governments over there. So yeah, it's the same. It's the same pattern every time.
Oh
Every
yeah, they was
time.
using the Taliban. Yeah, the
Yeah, they
United
use the
States government was
Taliban.
using the Taliban.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
right.
Osama bin Laden, that's a different operation they had
Nah,
going
he
on.
was part of
That's
the
the
Taliban though.
boogeyman.
Yeah,
Nah, he wasn't the Taliban. He was Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda. Yeah, my bad. Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
Right, right, right. Al
Taliban is the
Qaeda.
drug pushers
Yeah,
that the United States government was protecting
right,
over there
right,
in
right, right,
Afghanistan as they was harvesting the poppy fields to give to the pharmaceutical
right.
companies so they could create Fetty.
Yeah, we
Like
actually did a
this like
documentary
and
on
they
that.
did the same thing. They did the same thing when they was in Vietnam War.
Vietnam War. I was just about to say that
Like
the
they run the
Vietnam.
same operation. Like this government is wicked as hell.
And the thing
This
about it
government is
is,
wicked as hell.
our tax dollars be funding all of that shit. Like they set up the perfect pyramid scheme to basically drain money out of the taxpayers to keep these funding these operations. I believe the Epstein operation was funded by our tax dollars as well. Like that whole bit was all, part of using our tax dollars. And the thing about it, they use our tax dollars against us. Like how y'all you take our tax dollars, set up all these operations and all these corporations to basically wage war against the people. Like that's crazy as hell. Like, bro, it's our money it's our taxpaying dollars going into these military being on our streets. We ain't asked for that shit. We ain't asked for military to be on the corners in America, the fight with the war on crime and shit. We got local and state police for that. National Guards. We don't need full military coming in and running operation. They ain't even really running up. They just standing on the corner and shit, watching the ICE agent, the federal agents beat up on people, snatch kids up out the home, beat up on people, and just act rogue like thugs. And we like, this is what our tax dollars going to?
Well, you gotta think about it. The world is ran by draconian style rulers.
Yeah, blood sucking fiends.
Draconians, yeah, they blood. So that's how they use your own energy against you. They take our energy and enslave us with our own energy because our energy gives them power, and our energy comes in the form of taxes, currency. So they found a way to just tax us for every little thing, and they use that to enslave us with it. That's draconian. That's Dracula's. A bunch of motherfucking vampires running everything.
That's
That's how
crazy,
they. That's
bro.
their system. That's the system they got set up. And we're just basically just feed. Like they just feed off of us. That's
Feed off
it.
the energy, right? They
Yeah, we
energy
just feed.
harvesting, and they just feed off the energy, and they be at yo. I'm telling you, like, and the thing is, the more stress they put on the people to work, the more Like, you got people that's working hard as shit just to maintain everything they got. So the more they put financial strain on the people, you know what I'm saying? It's going to create a climate like more violence, more shit like that because you putting strain on the people, people are living around less resources and shit like that. So you bound to have a chaotic society when there's less resources and everybody's working hard just to try to maintain. So they know what they doing by making homeless illegal in America because they know the transition they making is going to create more homeless people on the streets. it's gonna create more crime as well. Like we ain't seen shit yet. We ain't seen nothing yet. It's gonna be a lot more things that happen. That's why they trying to put military in the streets because they know they preparing for what's to come. It ain't even about what you know what I mean, them just just running, drills and shit like that. Cause you hear Trump up there talking about, yeah, we're gonna use these areas as training grounds. He literally said training grounds. So he gonna use the black communities and shit like that for training grounds. That's what he said out his mouth. But we know what it's all about. They're trying to bring in military because they preparing for what's to come. And like we said, it's gonna be a lot more people strain, lot more financial strain on people, a lot more homeless in the street, a lot more. You know what I mean? Just it's gonna be chaotic as hell.
And that's only because our money is devaluing because we got a
It's divide, right?
parasite connected to our economy called the central banks. And
Hmm.
basically they keep loaning us money. Our government is keep getting loans from them and basically having us pay the taxes on it.
Yep.
And the interest rates be high as hell on every dollar that they loan out to the United States government. So they basically got, and the politicians, they just skim off the top and they just leave the rest of the debt for us. Like they take their portion of the loan that they get from the central banks and live good, live lavish with it, and then they just basically put the debt on us. So now the country's in debt to these central banks. So our money is being inflated because they keep printing, and entering more money into the system digitally, and it's devaluing the currency. So now Americans have to work hard as shit just to catch up. You gotta have 3 or 4 jobs in a side hustle just
Yeah,
to
you
get
gotta
bare
have.
minimum now.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of revenue streams just to maintain. And not only that, they got the separatism. They keep people so separated that people can't even join together, even to bring resources together to even survive some shit like this. So they cooked up a whole
Right.
type of scheme going on. Let's drive people into their homes. Let's create a system where people barely even know each other no more. People barely communicate with each other. Families
Yep.
and shit all broken up. So they did a number on society, bro,
Oh, and they got us
and it
communicating
worked.
through screens,
Yeah, they got
and
it. It
that's
worked.
fucking us up too.
Yeah, that shit
All
worked.
we do
Whatever.
is communicate with each other through screens, and
Right.
we don't have no real attachment to anybody. So it
Yeah.
can't be no real sense of community anymore
Right.
because everything is through a fucking screen now. Everything is text, email. Everything's impersonal. So we'll always be divided on some shit. We'll never
Yeah.
be able to be a community again in the world. And
Perfect plan.
yeah, that's the perfect plan. Yeah, this is a whole psyop. It's one big picture, and it's people's not seeing a big picture. Like they literally socially engineered, financially, economically engineered, you know what I mean, psychologically engineered, spiritually engineered this society for us to basically war against ourselves and war against each other while they basically profit off of it. And we fall for it every time. Cause we all divided, and people don't even want to hear this shit that we
All
talk.
right.
It's the realest
Hey,
shit that you
listen.
can hear right now, and people still don't want to hear this because people still stuck in their ways. That's why the shit like you said, something major have to happen, even bigger than
Yeah,
COVID.
even
Like
bigger
we
than
have to,
that.
like a
It's
real
going
COVID need to happen because that
it's
wasn't a
going to
real
take.
fucking
Yeah,
pandemic. A
it's
real
going to take
pandemic,
something
people would have been
supernatural.
dying in the streets. People would have
Yeah,
been
it's
falling
going.
and dropping dead in the streets from illness, not just at the hospitals
Yeah,
where
it's
they
going to
was
have to take something
basically being
supernatural to
killed
happen.
by the by the things that they was hooking them up to.
And the thing about it is that it's gonna have to take something, like I said, it's gonna have to take something supernatural to happen in order for people to really, you know, really wake up, sound that alarm, and people have to really wake up. So it's gonna get bad before it gets worse. So the thing about it is that our government got their hands in so many things, and they got their hands in so many aspects of our lives. They controlling every aspect of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Taxing the hell out of every aspect of our lives just to keep this system going. So it's like it's gonna have to take people to be like, nah, we don't want this shit. We ain't asked for this. And really stand firm on the decision. Rather Whether how hard it gets, far as you know what I mean, whatever type of persecution you're gonna face because of it, yeah, it's gonna take that. Yeah, it's gonna take you making a hard decision that it might cost you your life, tell you the truth. I mean, it might just cost you your life just to stand on what you're standing on and saying no, we don't want this wicked shit. Yeah, it might cost you your life to to reject that type of shit. Yeah. But the thing is, they keep people in fear, and that's how they able to control people is through fear. If you showing them you ain't got no fear, then you untouchable. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they able to control people is to straight up through fear. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, uh,
Somebody said these religions in the black community is killing us. It ain't just the religions, that's a part of it, but everything is fucking killing us in the community. Ignorance is killing us in the black community. And the thing is, there ain't no real black community. That's another thing. That's false. There's no black community. Niggas is just as divided. Niggas is more divided than anybody. So niggas
yeah,
definitely
that's
ain't
the
no
fact. That's
community.
a fact. That's a fact. Like we seen the height of community. Yeah, I mean, we seen the height of community when we seen areas like Tulsa, Oklahoma, like where people was actually thriving and
Yeah,
actually
that's a community.
banding together and putting their resources together and building shit from scratch, not just taking handouts or anything. You know what I
Right.
mean? Actually working and cultivating the land, knowing how to cultivate the land, making it prosper. You know what I mean? To the point where you had white folks and black folks and Jewish folks and all that, you know, you know, basically trading in, different communities, different resources and things, because maybe that community can't do what this community over here can do. So it was always that understanding. That shit is done. That's a done deal. I mean, for us, our business night and day, we was able to connect with the Amish people because we know how to maneuver like that, and we know that's what it's going to take. You might have to cross communities to even make sustain, because the government ain't don't give a shit about any community. So you gotta realize it's gonna have to take some people that know what's going on, and you might have to cross with other communities to even survive some shit. So
Exactly.
we was able to connect with the Amish community to grow our CBD and other products as well. So that's how you got to move out here. All that separatism shit that they doing, keeping communities separated and all that's
Yeah,
done. Just
that's
that's done.
division.
Yeah, that's the vision is just to keep people down. Nah, that ain't what it is.
Yeah, us believing that there's a black community is killing us more than the religions are.
Yeah,
Because a
right.
lot of people use that black community shit just to be racist, and they're now open minded to work with other communities, and basically we just become detached, and we don't never prosper in nothing because we don't look outside the box. We still looking up to niggas with talking this pan Africanism shit and all that. That none of that shit is even accurate in
That's some that
2025.
yeah,
That's some
yeah,
shit of the
yeah.
past
Like
that people
yeah,
just need to leave in the past because it's
that's some
going to take
age in
more
that shit.
because every community is getting attacked by these wicked individuals equally.
Like we
When they
seeing
spray that shit in the
right.
sky, when they spraying that shit in the sky out of those planes, it's just not affecting the black community. It's affecting everybody.
Not
When
only
they
that, just
spraying
the
our
food.
land
When
with
they
all the
putting
fucking
hey,
contaminants that they spraying our land with, that's contaminating the water supply, the food supply, the water, everything, the oceans, the rivers. That
yeah,
shit affects everybody. So at that point,
right.
it ain't just about no black community. It's bigger than that. By us being small minded and thinking that it's just a black community, that's destroying us. That's destroying us more than religion.
Yeah, people need to realize what's really going on. And because you got to realize that the people that's running this system, that they don't look at it as that. They just look at it as world domination and total control. It's not even about um religion, skin color, uh classes. You know, they don't care nothing about none of this shit.
if you were talking
It's
about
straight up.
religion destroying somebody, religion is destroying more people in the Middle East than it's destroying the black
Yeah,
community in America.
that's a
Because
fact.
you gotta think about them oppressive leaders over there that's oppressing those people in the name of Muslim and Islam.
You can't even practice other religions
Right.
nowhere in none of those countries. It's
So
just
that
it's
that
just one
religion ain't
religion.
destroying us as much as it's destroying them right now.
Yeah,
And then you got the whole country hiding under acting like they the original Hebrews or Jewish or what Jews or whatever, and then they attacking other people because they Muslims and they claiming that it's their land and all that. Religion is destroying that shit over there. The black
quick
community in America, it ain't religion that's destroying the black community in America. It's
ignorance.
it's the ignorance of niggas that's destroying the black community in
Yeah, it's
America.
the
And the
ignorance
fact
of
that we think it's a black community in America is showing our ignorance. There's no black community in America. That's bullshit. It's manufactured. The black community in America is completely manufactured by the government and the corporations. Because the black community in America is always focused on whatever the corporations is putting out there for us. The new Jordans, yeah, I mean the Henny, the yeah, all the shit that like
well,
we're
yeah,
manufactured the new
the
rap song
the
that the corporate
corporation
leaders put
corporate
put for
corporate
us.
sponsored yeah
Yeah, yeah,
corporate
the black
sponsored culture.
community in America is artificial. It's manufactured. It's some corporation based shit. We
It
don't know our
definitely
real
is.
heritage. We don't know our real heritage in the United States as so-called Black
But
Americans.
you
This
know
shit
what,
is
Black America
manufactured, bro.
is basically based around materialism,
Yeah, it's based around the corporate. Yeah, because that's who
corporate
fucking rule over us
materialism.
because they basically get us with shiny things. Like the shit like we praise the motherfuckers in our neighborhoods. It started off with that, praising the motherfuckers in your neighborhood who driving the new cars and that, but they selling all the drugs that the government set up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean niggas
and
like
that
Ricky Ross and
right.
all them. The
Yeah,
only
they
reason why they
exposed
were
that.
balling driving different cars every day that they just bought is because the CIA allowed that to happen. And we built a culture around that type of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and
come
I
on.
wanted to get into that too because I mean that's the main thing Kanye was talking about. I guess he just flipped on them on some. You know what I'm saying? Just tired of seeing that type of organization just working its way into the fabrics of America, just reversing everything because this shit now, like you said, it's manufactured, bro.
It's all
And with
manufactured,
this
bro.
with this artificial intelligence shit, it's getting worse. It's
Way
getting
worse.
worse.
Social
You know what I mean?
media,
Talent
period.
ain't
Not
even
even just the
talent. No,
artificial
yeah, like
intelligence.
talent
The
ain't even
social
talent no
media.
more. Yeah, yeah, it's creating an artificial. Creating an artificial life, artificial intelligence. Yeah, I mean, like it's just artificial food, just
Yeah,
artificial,
everything.
just a whole artificial society.
Yep.
I wanted to get into this Kanye joint real quick because I wanted to play this shit real quick, bro. Let's get into this real
I
quick.
see you doing everything that you're doing. We're on your side, bro.
I mean, I really appreciate that. You know, just for you guys understanding the humanity. The very first time I was ever given some medication was actually related to an incident with paparazzi uh, in front of the airport, where I wrestled down the same paparazzi that used to be following Britney. And then they sent me the anger management class. I don't want to sign those right now, bro. I'm not going to sign them right now. All right, so they sent me this anger management class, and then the guy just gave me some medication, just like, yo, take this. I had never taken medication my entire life. And one doctor said, okay, this started like this.
He's just a celebrity. They medicating every goddamn body. Everybody putting everybody on medications. You got some type of issue, you go see. You know, what I mean? First thing they want to do is put you on medication. So that's a whole nother scheme as well. I mean, they make up these, and most of these diagnoses don't even be fucking real. I'm gonna be honest to y'all. A lot of these dope diagnoses that people be going to the doctor and they be getting diagnosed with don't even be real. That shit be fake just to get you to take the medicine. There's another hustle going on.
And most of that medicine is messing up your internal organs. Your kidney,
Fact.
specifically
Yeah.
your kidneys and your liver is effing it up, no matter
Right.
what medication it is.
Yeah. So
Because
that's why.
those
Right.
synthetic chemicals that they using in those medications are not really designed to be inside of the human body. That shit is killing people. All it does is lessens the symptoms of the stuff they giving it to you for, and then it creates more illness. So you only create an illness by taking that shit, and then they give you more medication to counteract that medication, and then more medication to counteract that medication. Before you know it, you're on 10, 20 different medications, and it's all fucking up your kidneys and liver.
Right. Make sure y'all double tap. I'm about to say double. Make sure y'all like this video too. Make sure y'all smashing that like button as well. Let's continue.
Slope or something. And you know, the interesting thing, they saw the Harley text to me, and people are looking over it. You know, the media has run all these stories smearing me for saying, hey, I can't be anti-Semitic if I'm a Semite, because I am. Because that's who we are. Black people we don't have a flag. Our history's been stolen from us. You go to the African American Museum, it starts in slavery. It doesn't start before then. They don't talk about Mansa Musa. They don't talk about us being here before. So I want to read this text out to you again, right? Because people need to not forget this. So when I put up the tweet, I was going back and forth with Harley saying, hey, I'm angry. I'm angry at how these Jewish business people have done me and so many of my friends. Are they doing? Can you tell me quiet? Yeah. Excuse me. Estamos haciendo video, por favor. Gracias. Thank you. She's still talking. Let me. That's it.
What Kanye don't realize, you're gonna pause it real quick. What Kanye don't realize, he's saying African American and Jews, but what he gotta realize is most of the black folks or the dark skin colored folks in the United States is not African American. They're natives to this land. It was just that during the census, they was relabeling Native Americans as Negroes. And then eventually the Negroes turned into, black, and then black turned into African American, and then that's what we've been rolling with, African American.
Yeah, all that
But most
jazz
of us
shit.
didn't come over here on the slave boat. Most of our ancestors were already over here. Like especially this nigga Kanye, he's Native American. He don't even know it though. Most of the black folks in the inner cities are literally Native American. They come from their ancestors have already been on this land for ages, even before the Olmec and the Mayans. We always been over here. That the story of the African slave trade, that was a small group of Africans that came over here in the course of a small amount of time, and some of them basically, created families and lineages over here. But most of us dark skinned colored people were already over here. We were Native Americans. They just reclassified us under the census because it was no way that the Europeans came and killed all the Native Americans on the land. That's not what happened. They didn't come and kill all the Native Americans on the land. All they did was came and reclassified us as Negroes.
That's it.
When we are all Native Americans. And the reason why they did that is because that's how they was able to take over the land.
Negroes
and
mulattoes.
Reclassified it as Negroes and say that we came over here on African slave ships, then we can't take claim to the land. We just gotta say we're lost people from Africa.
Facts.
That's why that Pan-Africanism shit is a scam.
Right.
And that movie Roots was about Alex Haley's history. Not every black person in America got Alex Haley's history. Right. His people came from Africa. But my people, my family, most of us were already over here.
Facts. So, and to this date, right? Y'all done seen everything he proven. I got kicked out of the banks. Ari Emanuel asked all these businesses to stop doing business with me. Now, I was in negotiation with Adidas because that was my issue. They were getting lawyers to sign over my IP, different things without me being aware of it, like people signing on my behalf. And this is part of the problems I had with Adidas. So now the world has got to see how Adidas was as a partner. The fact that they would attempt to steal my designs. That's happened a lot in history, right? But now y'all get to see it in real life. And that's the difference. Let's read this Harley text out loud when he was threatening me, forcing me to apologize.
Pete, what he said, them text messages. The same text message he was sending over Candace. Now, he probably only read a few of them on camera, but he probably was getting a lot of them shit. So I guess those are the text messages he was talking about. He sent over to Candace just in case of something ever happened to him and shit. So
Crazy.
About the frustration, and no one ever said, okay, this is what you're doing. Even in fact, TMZ is going to say Kanye West, right? And my name is legally Ye now. It's always some form of disrespect, no matter if you're the richest black man or what happens. What's up, bro? You part of this?
Sorry, it's ballet.
This what?
It's ballet. He's looking right now. Ponte un poquito atrás. Gracias. Thank you.
Just go over there, man. We don't need to wait. He was a part of the whole making noise over there. All right, so let me read these Harley texts. This is how he was threatened. This is a trainer, but come to find out, he was actually Canadian intelligence, but this is my trainer. So this shows you the kind of handlers that are around the superstars in California, right? So it says, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words. And everything that is discussed is based in fact. And that's some crazy stuff that a dumb friend of yours told you, or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. This is the way a Hollywood trainer was talking to me to force me to go and apologize, right? But even though they ended the deals, and Farrakhan said, hey, did he really ever have it? Let me explain to Farrakhan what that meant. My contract for Adidas was for 4 more years. My royalty was $500 million a year. That's what I meant when I said the $2 billion was lost in a day. Because of the negotiation with Adidas, I wanted to negotiate something where it's like, okay, you guys, you'll take the Yeezy, but we still get the royalties. And people saw it's like when we dealt with George Floyd, different things, I'm the one to put the money up. You know what I'm saying? I put $2 million. I always support it in every one of these situations. So you think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house right now? My kids go to Sierra Canyon. It's a Jewish school that doesn't teach Christianity, teach Christian kids. At Christmas time, they're teaching Kwanzaa to black kids. They say, hey, this is your Christmas. This is all indoctrination. This is all mind control. You gotta understand, I don't believe I'm putting myself at risk, because I think God uses me for a time like this. He put me in a situation and had y'all follow me from George Bush Don't Care to had the best video to now. For some reason, y'all are interested.
George Bush don't care about black people.
He think his kids are the only ones he think superstar kids and his kids are the only ones that's surrounded by agents. The day-to-day kid is surrounded by agents. All the shit that they teach us is propaganda. No matter what school you at. Yeah, it's all indoctrinated. That's the thing. That's the big picture. They still teaching in schools that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. That's propaganda.
Well, yeah, he did mention
and untrue.
He did mention that they don't be teaching nothing before slavery. Everything is during slavery time. Like we was just slavery and that was it. Nothing before that.
And we all got active agents around us. They're in every organization, every institution. They're all around, whether they know it or not. It really is like the Matrix out this motherfucker.
Right.
Because you gotta think about the type programs that he said that his training coach tried to get him in. They do that to people on a regular. Not just because you're a celebrity. I see people being hauled off all the time, put in a crazy house and being pumped up with drugs when they don't need to be.
Right.
It's just not celebrities that they turn. See, this is a program that they rolled out to the general public, period. And it's good that he's a celebrity and he's talking out about it, though. He's one of the only celebrities that's talking out about this stuff. And that's the only thing I'm like, a lot of these celebrities, they do be double agents and all that. But something about Kanye, I really think that they can't control him like they control the other ones.
Nah.
Like he's really unpredictable to them. And his life really might be in danger right now. Because he is unpredictable. They don't like the fact that he is a celebrity with a lot of influence, and he goes off script.
Mm-hmm.
He goes off script. And the thing is, just the fact of knowing that most of these celebrities have a script that they have to follow, and it's the PR team that helps them with the script because there's a
Right.
certain image that they have to keep up, and majority of the times it's a lie, and they have to play good, to
Uh,
keep getting those endorsement checks,
yeah.
and not just endorsement checks, but also to keep themselves safe from being the next one on a Charlie Kirk type of style hit list. Because the people that they dealing with, if they was ever to be exposed of what they actually do, a lot of people got to die because a lot of so-called important people would end up in jail. And the
So it's
thing
like,
is, that's where we at right now. A lot of those important people need to end up in jail right now, and most of them is on that client list. And that's what they didn't like Mr. Charlie Kirk talking about, was that Epstein client list. And they
yeah,
damn sure don't like Ye talking about, Canadian intelligence and all that type of shit, especially if it's true.
yeah, with his
That
info.
means he exposing the identity of his trainer, if the
But
trainer is on some CIA type or Canadian intelligence type shit for the
but
celebrities.
but the how they basically uh use Ye, they basically like how they keep his, you know, the information he puts out and all that, how they make it, the people look at him as crazy, right? Because people look at Ye, you could even tell when things is put when he start going off on his tantrums and all that. I think his delivery, the way he delivers it, comes off as crazy, and then the media kind of, you know, uh, take on that and spin that, and then make him look, crazy. So people just be like, "Oh, that's just yay, and again," or so, but they don't really be listening to what he be saying because they write him off as crazy. They be like, "Oh, Kanye ain't take his meds, or he's off his meds, or he ain't been right since his mama died." And they made sure that the public played into that, just so when he do go rogue, people just look at him like, "Oh, that's just Kanye being crazy," and just writing off the shit that he's saying. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo, you know what's crazy
that's
about
how
that
they was
though?
able to combat him. But
They programmed us on how to accept the message. So that's how, because you saying like the way he delivered the message. They
yeah,
always say that about people who tell the truth. Oh,
right.
they crazy because the way they delivered the message.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
because
they're
we're
telling.
programmed to accept the message in a certain type of package. It
Right.
got to be like a
Facts.
tall white man in a suit or some shit, and look like he got money, got some, or got a lab coat on or something like that. They got glasses on a lab coat, and he's in the media putting his name out there all the time. Those are the type people you only allowed to accept the message from. But to accept the message from someone like Kanye that's eccentric and all that, oh no way, that person just crazy.
I
Like
mean,
no way they could be saying a
that's
message
how.
that's true. It's crazy. So they program the masses to accept the messengers to look a certain way. So you gotta look like the messengers that they programmed us to basically say, oh, that's a messenger. Because how
Yeah.
he dressed, how he talks, his
Right.
demeanor, oh, that's a true messenger.
I
And
mean,
that
you
could
look
be the
at
motherfucking devil himself. But
if
it's a
you
true
go.
messenger because we're programmed to say that's how a messenger should talk. That's how a
Yeah.
messenger should move.
Well,
Like that,
that's
and
how
that's
they
not
did
how God
with
operate
the
though.
Jesus thing in the scriptures. They made. I mean, like they looked at Jesus like he was crazy, and they looked at him. Oh, he's just a carpenter. He crazy. He's not who he say he is. But they not really expecting the messenger to be that come in that type of form because they was looking for a powerful man that was dipped in gold and draped in the finest linen. They really didn't expect the messenger to come amongst the poor people dressed like a poor regular guy working a regular job. Then that's why I don't disregard the bum on the corner, because that bum on the corner that's drinking that alcohol sitting there on that in front of that liquor store is probably the most wisest man you can ever see. You know what I mean? Because he's seen a lot just by sitting on that goddamn corner with that brown paper bag with that wine in his hand. He's seen a lot. So I don't write the bum off at all.
Or it could be
You know
the
what I mean?
enemy, or it could be the enemy basically spying on the people that he know he enslaved. Because even
Right.
in the Hunger Game, I mean not the Squid Games, they showed us how the dude, the Korean dude, the old man was acting like he was poor and was going to the neighborhood, but he was the one that actually controlled the whole Squid Games, and he was a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, but acting like he's a bum on the street. They do that. They like to do that too. They like to act like they the bums on the street, and that'd be the person that really owns the whole damn city behind the scene.
Right.
And they go and act like a bum for a day, and just so they could spy on the people that they enslave, and it gives them pleasure to know that they could do that at any given time.
Right.
They do shit like that too. And then sometimes you have messengers of God that be bums, look like bums on the street and whatnot. Like it's many different. Yeah, we all confused about how something should look. That's one of our biggest downfalls as humans, because we think shit is supposed to look a certain way in order for it to be true. And that's how they get us. They program it so they look at somebody like Kanye. He's eccentric. He's not usually the person you would get any real information from. He's a rapper. He's a producer, and he's into fashion. So no way he could say something that'd be educational that can actually uplift people. He's just the entertainer, and he's eccentric, and the way he delivers stuff, he's I mean, he don't deliver it like a like how to know, like motherfuckers in the suits and motherfuckers in the lab with the lab coats and the people that they say are the smartest. They just write you off to be crazy because they know they program the people for a messenger to look a certain type of way, and it worked because people, you know what it is? Because people are vain. That's another thing. So a lot of times
they play off our vanity.
We get fooled by our vanity because we expect the messenger to look and act a certain way in order to be valid as a messenger. We effed up. There's a lot of psychological problems that we have to work through in order to even clear out some of this wicked shit that's going on. Because a lot of this wicked shit that's going on is our fault collectively, because we still allowing it collectively. If you think about the governments of the world and all these wicked individuals, they less than 1%. They're less than 1%. So they not even a factor. Majority of the people say, nah, we ain't dealing with this wicked shit no more. But it's just that we're too divided. We're too programmed. We don't want to hear the truth. We love illusion and delusion because ignorance make you feel good. And a lot of us are insecure cowards.
Let's get it.
Insecure cowards, and we care about what people think too much.
Always looking like y'all are interested for some reason, and they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched the medication, and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
They can't scare you. They can't control you. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control you. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. Exactly. It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone. Let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slights from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slights from nobody. It's God. It's the only person that I serve. My mama ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, you Christian too.
Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away.
Bro, his driver is sitting there like the Terminator. That nigga haven't moved one bit.
400 million.
That nigga like, damn, this driver in the back. Who that nigga?
That's more important thinking
about it.
That's the thing.
That motherfucker like the Terminator sitting over there.
I can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puppies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail. And even if they did figure out a way, I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's Jewish people that did bad business. I'm Semite, so I can't be anti-Semitic. They stole our history from us. They stole who we are, and it's up. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah, that's they do say he crazy when he starts speaking the truth. Yeah,
That's what I was
and
just saying.
they did that. They do that to everybody though who got a voice. They
Yeah,
do that to everybody. Anybody who start speaking the truth and all that, the media start to make them look crazy. Cause look what they did to Cat Williams.
right.
They
Man,
try to make Cat Williams look crazy.
they've been doing it since the biblical time. They killed all the
Right.
prophets that came to speak the truth. They killed every single last prophet that came to speak the truth. Every last one of them slain in the street, dead and slain in the street.
But at the end of the day, the Most High blamed the general public for killing his prophets, not just the
Yeah,
leader.
it's just be it's the
It's the general public.
because most
We're too
people,
damn programmed and divided. People were programmed and divided then too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most people
That's the
just
problem. That's
kill off
never
the
going to change
messenger.
on Earth, bro.
Mm-mm,
That's never
nope.
going to change. It haven't changed for thousands of years. What makes us think it's going to change now? Like you said, it would have to be something supernatural.
There's always something
That's
that's
the
supernatural.
only way things are
If
changed
you
on this
if you
planet.
think
If it was something supernatural.
if you think throughout history and you really dig deep and throughout history, it was always a supernatural event that took place that made people change and wake up. That
It
changed
has to be.
that changes the whole globe as a whole. You know what I'm saying? That changes the collective consciousness. That's what it's going to take. Something that's going to have to change the collective consciousness, not just
Hmm.
you know this group over here or that group over there. Not everyone has the answers. The Christians don't have the answers. The Muslims don't have all the answers. The Buddhists don't have all the answers. It's not just It's not one organization or
But
one person.
collectively, all
But
we have the
yeah,
answer.
it's a collective consciousness that has the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because we make up the body. The one we make up the body. You know what I mean? So it's going to have to take, like I said, a whole thing, a catastrophic supernatural event that has to happen for everybody to you know click and wake the hell up. So that's what I'm saying. So yeah,
Yeah,
Hollywood
every
is
time when
real.
somebody bring a message through that people don't understand or they
They
fear,
kill.
they say it's crazy. They say the
Yeah,
person is crazy.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Or
they say the
I mean,
person is crazy or just write them off as yeah. I mean that's not somebody to be taken serious. You can't take that individual serious.
yeah, but if too many people start listening to the message, then they know what they do. Take out the messenger, but that only make the message that and see that's the one thing God put in place that if you have a truth
Being a
teller that being a
martyr.
martyr, it
Yeah,
makes the message spread even more when you kill someone that's actually talking I'm talking about spreading the absolute truth. You know what I
right.
mean? In the right, and it's a righteous person. Now we all ain't perfect, so we're gonna have our flaws. We're gonna have our humanistic flaws. But if you overall a righteous person that spread the message and you get killed for it, then it makes that message spread even more. So that's one thing that's in place that they can't get rid of. So they try to kill a person with speaking the absolute truth, but that message only spreads wider. You know what I mean? So
That's all it does.
yeah,
They just dispersing the energy even more. But the thing is, it's still not enough. It's never enough. Like
nah,
you
it's
said, we need
bro.
a super like natural
Hey,
event take place for people to wake up to this. Because people just ain't going to see outside of their own bubble that they're in, and
yeah,
that's the big problem.
it's like an ant. It's like an ant pile. The ant that doesn't know there's a whole big world outside of that ant colony. They just think their ant colony is their world. They don't understand that it's big humans walking around. You know what I mean? Other insects. You know what I mean? No, they don't understand that. So that's how we got to look at it as we in this human colony, and we don't understand that there's a bigger universe that's outside of this universe that we're in. Yeah, I mean, some people just can't even expand their conscious that way. Yeah, I mean, to understand that. So that's how listen. Like you said, people going, everyone's gonna have to wake up, regardless. Anyway, it's like inevitable. You're gonna have to wake up. Everybody has a spiritual alarm clock. You get everybody get a chance too. That's the thing about it. Everybody get a chance. Now you might. miss certain message that come to you. You might miss a few of them, but everyone do get a chance. Shit, every time you go to sleep and wake up, and the next day you wake up and get a chance to wake up. That's another day to chase the truth. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you got it. Got to be something that's inside of you though to go after the truth, to chase
Facts.
the truth.
Yep.
And that's a lot of things. A lot of people haven't been switched on yet.
Yep.
And that's why we're saying collectively we would need a supernatural event for that to happen. Because a lot of people is comfortable with living in delusion.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because some people are scared to step out of that delusional bubble because then they have to look at themselves.
And
So
I just think it's just people. Some people just not conscious of that. I just think they're not conscious of it. Like they don't understand that there's you know um to even think outside of that. The worlds that's been created around them. They don't have the mind capacity to think outside of that until, like you said, something has to happen for that to, for people to wake up and actually the veil to be lifted off. Basically, the veil that's covering their eyes to be lifted off. It's going to have to take, you know, and even individually, is some things that might happen in the individual life that might lift the veil off their eyes. Not necessarily a collective consciousness, like one event happened where everybody wake up instantly. I believe certain things happen in each other's lives, in our individual lives, that will lift the veil off our eyes, and we able to see clearly. You know what I mean? So that too. That's how I look at it.
Lakshmi said, "What about Charlie Kirk? Then was he speaking the truth?" Yeah, that's why they took
Yeah,
him out. He
yeah. I
started speaking
mean,
stuff that they didn't like him
yeah,
saying because he was basically biting the hand that fed him. He started speaking out against Israel and
yeah.
Epstein and the Epstein client list, and wondering why the Trump administration ain't being more serious about the client, bringing out the client list. They
Right.
didn't like somebody like Charlie Kirk talking about that first because he's been paid by Israel for years.
Yeah,
He's been a big friend and supporter of them for years. And then when he comes out and say that they might be connected to Epstein, and Epstein was blackmailing people for Israel, and then saying why ain't the Trump administration is acting on it, that made him a target.
yeah. And then you gotta look at it this way: us speaking the truth, it doesn't have the same impact as those people because they're sponsored by, corporations and all of that. So you gotta understand that when they speak the truth, or they have about 4 million followers, 6 million, 10 million followers, that's a big influence. That's a big impact. So that's going to be even more, monitored. You know what I mean? People like us, we are small, smaller degree, so we not as monitor as much. But if we was pulling in, our live streams was pulling in 400,000 people to 100,000 people on a live stream, but shit, maybe even 50,000 people to a live stream.
That's a hell of a
They
lot of people.
they
Yeah,
they'd
bro.
be
Even
looking at us. Yeah, they'd be
hell
on us.
yeah,
They'd be on us because of that. You gotta
a hundred
realize that.
thousand people
Yeah,
in a
when you
live
start
stream. Hell
right.
yeah, they be on us. They be like, who
Like
the
when you
fuck is
gotta realize,
they?
yeah, when you start pulling, if you a person that's organically bringing these type of numbers, and you're going to, they're going to want to put eyes on that. They like, who is this person with all this influence?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember that's what they did to Nick Aaron Russo when Nick he was approached by the Rockefellers because they seen him growing, going out and doing these speaking events in big numbers. So they like, who is this person acting on their own? He said he was approached by Nick Rockefeller to basically join them because he was he was pulling in numbers on his own. You know what I mean? So you gotta realize anybody that's a big influence, they gonna want to put, eyes on them people. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So that's why they had knock off Charlie Kirk, because you gotta realize he got a YouTube channel of 4 million people. He's going around to all these colleges and speaking to these people. So he's growing popularity even more, and his voice is becoming bigger and stronger. And now he changed his message, and he's saying we need to investigate why these Israel shit is happening. We need to investigate why the Epstein list, client list ain't being revealed, and why Trump ain't really putting the pressure on the Epstein. Like he's starting to speak out against the very people that he's in bed with. He's starting to look at them funny, like, all right, well, you guys said you was going to do this, this, and that, and we still haven't did it. And they looking at him like he's Hoyd on training day. I mean, like Denzel Washington got him and his squad, and you got Hoyt over here wanting to be the truth guy, and they've been cooking this scheme they've been having been going on for years before he even came. So you got Denzel Washington and his goons, and then you got Hoyt coming in. You know what I mean? Trying to be the good cop. That was Charlie Kirk trying to be the good guy amongst
Well, you
these.
know what it
You know what
is?
I mean?
It's because Charlie Kirk really believed in the movement, and the
Yeah,
people that controlling him don't really believe in that movement. They just using it to keep control because they
right.
control both sides.
Same thing
Charlie Kirk
Malcolm X
didn't
was feeling with.
realize,
Yeah, with
yeah,
the
Charlie
Nation of
Kirk
Islam.
didn't realize the people who's controlling him and giving him, supporting what he believes should be the movement. They also supporting the other side of the movement, the
Yeah,
ops. That's what he don't understand. They fund both sides. So even though Charlie Kirk's heart was really in it, theirs wasn't. The
yeah,
people who was controlling him wasn't. They didn't really believe. So, but in Kirk's eyes, he's like, man, if they willing to put all this energy and all this money into it, then they must believe in the movement as much as I do.
yeah.
And
See,
come to
same,
find out, he found out the hard way that them motherfuckers don't care about that movement as much as he do. It's not a
same,
passionate
right.
project for them. For them, it's about control. They control
Same thing with
the
Malcolm X
liberal shit
and
and the
the
conservative shit.
Nation of Islam.
And they recruit people who really believe in the movement to sell it. So the
Same,
people that they recruit
right.
will be the leaders or the people, the faces, and the faces don't know
Martin
that
Luther
the
King
people
with the
that's
Civil
controlling
Rights
them
Movement.
is controlling both sides.
Martin Luther King with the Civil Rights Movement. Malcolm
Right,
X with the Nation of Islam.
right,
Like you start seeing Martin Luther King. He believing that the people that's wanting to fund the movement, you see him taking pictures with the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers at the Nobel Peace Prize events and all that.
yeah,
They funding the civil rights movement. He thinking they funding the civil rights movement because they doing a good thing until Martin Luther King realized they wasn't and he got a bullet in his head.
right,
Yeah, yeah. I don't think a lot of people ever seen those pictures with Martin Luther King with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. I don't think nobody ever seen. People don't really realize that those was the people that was funding the civil rights movement, both sides, the civil rights movement and the KKK and the other
right, right, right.
organizations. You gotta realize they was funding both sides
They was
the
funding
whole
all
time.
sides.
They was
Facts.
fund they was funding the Nation of Islam leaders and all that. These in the other side in the other organizations that was going up against them. So you
Yeah,
gotta
people don't
realize that's who
realize
these
that the
people is.
KKK was ran by rogue government agents. The people who
Right.
controlled the K and the people who controlled the Black Panthers and all of them, they were rogue government agents. And then they recruit people who really believe in the movement.
Yeah.
That's how they make it more believable. It'd be like the leader and the assistant leader, whoever, they'd be like the federal agent, and they recruiting people, basically gathering up people or infiltrating people who actually believe
Let me see if I
the
can pull
shit.
this up. Yep.
And that's all they do. They control all sides. If y'all have to realize that whole KKK shit was one big government black op anyway, and it was a ritual
Right.
at the same time. And they control the other side. So yeah, it don't, and that's what it is. That's how they've been basically keeping control over
Right.
everybody. They divide us, but then they fund both sides.
Right. See, people ain't look. This is Martin Luther King and his wife with the Rothschilds. You know what I'm saying? Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. That's what I'm saying. Like accepting, you know, peace prizes from them. Look, Emory Jewish Archives showing Martin Luther King with the Rothschilds. Look, over here you see him standing with the move. Like that's what I'm saying. Like these are the people that he thought was funding the movement that was good. He thought these people was really good. He thought these people was really for helping the black community out and civil rights and bringing white and black folks together. And he really thought these people was for that. And so he ended up like that right there. Yeah.
You remember
You
the Jewish
realize, look,
community always supported the civil rights movement.
yeah,
You remember
right,
a lot of the get-togethers that the civil rights movement was held in synagogues too, as
yeah,
well as churches.
right,
You know, some synagogues basically sponsored a lot of Dr. Martin Luther King shit. So yeah, that was
yeah,
widely known already.
right.
That was widely known. That this is not even like most
Nah,
people
this
who
ain't even
know about this era know that Jews and the civil rights movement, like a lot of them basically were in bed together.
exactly.
That's how they been operating though. Just like at one point they was funding the Nation of Islam at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Whether they know it or not, whether the Nation of Islam know it or not, you were indirectly funded by them, and you might not even have recognized it, or some people in your organization did. Like
Yeah,
it's not even hidden. But it's bigger than this, though. It's bigger than just
it's bigger than that. Hell
Jews.
yeah,
People
yeah,
think that it's just about Jews and black people and all this type of shit. It's bigger than that. Those are still things that they're using it to divide us with. Because they don't even give a shit about the Jews. These people that's these Zionist people that's running everything, that's funding everything, and all these movements and stuff, they not really dedicated to
right,
Judaism like that. They're
right,
just using that. They just using that as a tool to control the mindset of certain people,
right.
and
Which
it worked.
Copa said
Like they
exactly
do
the
with
same
every
people
other religion or every other movement.
that made Charlie Kirk is the same people that took him out. Yeah, that's what I'm showing you with Martin Luther King. Same people that made him right there.
Yeah,
Same people that took him out. That's what
that's
I'm showing you.
always how it is, though,
Same
right?
thing with Malcolm X. The Nation of Islam made him, but they was in bed with people that took him out. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's the same thing. It's the same
Yeah, but
patterns. Y'all gotta realize the same patterns. But like you said, it's bigger than that. But
yeah, it's
you
bigger than
got you
all that.
got but you gotta understand that these are people that they handpick. Because you gotta realize these people are handpicked to have influence over,
Hmm.
you know, the people that's because they section everything off. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So they might pick a Martin Luther King to or a Malcolm X to be the head of a certain organization, then they might pick a Grand Wizard or the KKK over here because he got a big
Hmm.
organization of people that follow him. You might
Hmm.
have this cabal, these cabal people over here, or these Scientology people over here that got a big following, and they might
Hmm.
uplift some Scientology guy over here, and they all
Through
preaching,
funding.
yeah, they do funding, and then they all preaching against
Hmm.
each other. They all preaching against each other, so that's what's keeping the
Hmm.
separatism. Same thing with the head of these religion organizations. They might raise up some Muslim
Hmm.
guy or some Christian guy or
Hmm.
some Buddhism guy, and
Hmm.
they all preaching against each other and all that. So yeah, that's how they keep the separatism going, y'all. That's all we saying.
And
That's
then the
why it's
general
big.
public join all these
Yeah,
organizations and
yeah,
then start fighting against the other organizations.
right,
But all the organizations is being funded by the same individuals.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that y'all gotta look at how this being played, how this being played. You know what I mean? So like you said, Charlie Kirk just so happens just became a victim of his own circumstances with dealing with the people that he was dealing with. You know what I mean, he realized when people wasn't on the same frequency he was on. He was on another frequency, thinking he was out here speaking the truth, and you know what I mean. He was doing it for because he was doing it for a good cause, and these people was backing him, and but he realized they wasn't on the same frequency he was on. They on total separatism and and world domination and control and that's what they on. So that's it, man. That's
Yeah, you know what's crazy though? Like the people with going crazy with this Jewish stuff, and anybody can be Jewish. If you basically practicing Judaism, you'll be a Jew. You'll be Jewish.
yeah,
So Jewish is not a nation of people. That's enough. That's what people have done. The Hebrews were a nation of people.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Not just Jewish. Anybody could become Jewish because it's a religion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically somebody who practiced Judaism.
Yeah,
That's all that is. That don't matter. You could be any skin color. You could be Chinese and be a Jew if you practice in Judaism. That's that. Like we got to get. So we say, oh, it's the Jews that's running everything. What, a religion? That don't even make sense.
yeah, yeah. That's not yeah,
That don't even make sense. It just doesn't. It's just wicked individuals that's running shit. Let's just keep it at that. Let's stop labeling them as Jews and Christians and the Illuminati and all this bullshit that people keep coming up with that I don't even want to hear no more.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to hear
It's
about that
just wicked
Illuminati shit no
individuals
more.
that's running this shit. That's it. And they come with all colors, all races, all sizes, all religions. They hide under all of that shit.
Yeah, I don't
So
even.
no
I
telling what
hate
they
hearing about
gonna be
that
next. No
Illuminati
telling what
shit.
they gonna be next.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cause they like chameleons and shit. They take whatever's popping at the moment. If it's popping to be Jews because you can play as a victim, that's what they gonna hide under.
Yeah, I
And
mean
that's what
they.
they've been doing. So I'm
Yeah,
not going to attack Jewish people because of some shit that other idiots, some assholes did who's wicked and in power. I'm not going to say it's all Jews like some people say.
but
It's the Jewish community.
it's
No, it's
always.
not. It's not
It,
just the
yeah,
Jewish community.
It's always
It's
just the
all
greed.
these fucking
It's
communities.
greed. It's
Right.
greed and manipulation. Is you know what I mean? Because if you take a person that that really come from nothing and raise him up and shit to be this head of this organization and shit like that, then that's when greed sets in. So they take they calling people to sell out. Or they person's a sellout. He sold these people out. Yeah, I mean that's what happens when they're not gonna really pick no truth teller, no real truth teller from grassroots. And if they do, they turn them and flip them. You know what I mean? Or they send people in there to infiltrate.
Say they
Um,
crazy
yeah,
or take them
yeah,
out.
or take them
Charlie
out.
Kirk them or Martin Luther King them or JFK them.
Yeah. So it's anything that disrupt the pyramid scheme. Anybody that's coming along and try to disrupt the pyramid scheme, that's who they're gonna put a
Right.
target on them. And that's what Angel was about, just
Protect
maintaining.
the
Yeah, protect. Right.
pyramid scheme.
Yep.
Facts.
Yo, make sure y'all like this
Man, it's
video,
crazy.
share this video, man. Make sure y'all share this video because
Definitely get this video out there, man. This is good information.
I mean, I figure it's a lot of these things, a lot of these points need to be talked about because a lot of people ain't really talking about these points too much. So it's not a lot of it's a small amount of people out here that's on this frequency. So you know what I mean, most people just following the mess and whatever else whatever else is popular and
Right.
the truth. We know the truth ain't popular, so they ain't gonna really be no
It
big.
damn sure ain't.
You know what I mean? So
And I just want people to know that it's bad actors in every organization, every religion, every facet of our lives. There's bad actors, so you can't just blame something on one group. I think that's a lot of times we can't get to the bottom of nothing because we want to blame just
pointing the
one
finger,
group.
right? Right.
Yeah, at one group. It ain't about that. It's the bad individual because sometimes it don't be the whole group. You can't just point. And we hate that as black people when people do that to us. When one nigga create a crime, do a crime, they say basically we all guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, them niggas,
Right.
they all do the same shit.
They
Like
all
we
do the
hate
same
that.
shit. Right.
Yeah, but we quick to do that with other people. We quick to do that with other people in other scenarios.
And
You know what
that
I'm
and
saying?
that's the mindset of just playing into that whole
The program.
separatism, the programming, the whole separatism thing, because that's what we would look at. Like, just think about it, like how they keep people, minds in that type of programming is they got black people looking at white people a certain way, or they got or certain stereotypes. That's what they do. They create these stereotypes and they had us feeding into these stereotypes. And that's how they able to keep people at, programmed within these groups. So they have black folks looking at white people with some type of stereotypes, or black people, white people looking at black people in a certain stereotype. So they create these stereotypes, and that's what people just be going off of. Like, oh,
Facts.
all
Facts.
niggas like watermelon chick, chicken
Yeah.
and watermelon and shit like that.
All
Like
niggas
these,
still and lazy.
yeah,
All
still
niggas are
lazy.
lazy and they still.
Right. Like,
But the thing is, that people start to live up to their stereotypes. It's
and then
basically
that's what,
it's
yeah,
programmed into the fabric of our subconscious mind so much that a lot of us start to live up to the stereotypes, bro.
hmm
And it's like, what came first, like our actions or the stereotypes? And it's like the
right.
stereotypes was engraved into our freaking subconscious mind for so long that everybody lived up to their stereotypes. So now it's easy. That makes the programming even stronger. It makes them be able to control us even more because now we are living up to the stereotypes. And the ones who are not living up to the stereotypes, we still get accused of living up to the stereotypes
Yeah,
even when we're not,
right, right.
because that's part of the program. So yeah, we screw regardless.
And you gotta just deprogram yourself and break all these goddamn programs.
Right.
That's what it's really about because we
The
born into
matrix.
this shit. So yeah, you gotta as you gotta start deprogramming yourself from the shit that we was
Facts.
programmed with since the beginning. We born into this. So the
Right.
whole thing, the whole overall picture is when you born into a world like this, you're gonna be subjected to a lot of the programming. The thing is when you reach a certain level, you gotta start deprogramming yourself from all these different programs that we became embedded in this when we was born because we was all our parents really didn't know better, their parents really didn't know better, and then so forth and so on. So you got to just start deprogramming yourself. That's what it is.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And just realizing this is bigger than the program. He said
Right.
from the general standpoint, he says there are more maturity around the world compared to, yeah, I can't even see it,
He
compared
said
to
he
the
said the
US.
US,
Yeah,
yeah, he said the US is like its own planet compared to the rest of the world, even
yeah,
other Western countries. That's because the United States is one big corporation. See, that was the new world uh thing that they wanted to set up. The United States is considered the new world because they wanted to run a new world like a corporation, and we're just and the people who's in that corporation, the general public, are just products. Basically, we're just moved around like cattle and products.
right.
Like, we're like, this is like the first experimental like corporation type of country that was created. That's why we're so different than everybody else. Most countries have, monarchs or prime ministers and all that. We got a president. You know what I'm saying? Then other countries started to adopt that shit too, only
Yeah,
because of the influence by us. But what they're trying to do is just turn everybody into a product, because the United States is just a corporation. That's it. President, a VP. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all we are.
turn into a byproduct.
Yep, we just
United
a
States
fucking product.
corporation.
The people are just products, yo. We like come with barcodes and shit.
Yeah.
But the
Well, that's our
barcodes is
social
gonna be
social
attached to
security.
digital ID soon.
Yeah, well, our barcodes now is our social security numbers.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So
Not just that, even the birth certificate shit.
yeah, birth certificates and all
All
that,
of
right?
that. All of that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
because
United
those
States is
numbers,
literally a corporation. We've been sold into slavery. Like, we don't realize the contracts we're in as Americans, as US citizens. We are literally slaves to a
right?
corporation called the
Yeah,
United States of America.
right.
District out of the District of Columbia. We're slaves. That's why
Yep,
the United States is different. This is new. This is the new world that they wanted. This is the new world order that they wanted. Basically, every man have a barcode
right.
and sold on the market, whether he knows it or not. That's what's going on here. That's why United States seems so much different than everybody else. United States don't act like a traditional country or a traditional nation. We are an actual fucking corporation, all about the money and all about the power. That's
Exactly.
it.
Right.
And the people don't mean shit to it. We just disposable goods. That's why our government is so corrupt. That's why. It don't even see its own people as human.
Right. We just byproducts of the United States corporation. That's it. Byproducts. That's it. Byproduct of the United States of America's corporation.
We're the biggest
Corporation.
consumers in the world.
And the thing is, we got more imports coming in than exports and shit. Like we
Fact.
ain't really exporting anything. We ain't the makers of shit, barely.
Because
Everything
our
is made in
economy is based on
Taiwan
consumerism.
and China, made in China, made in Taiwan, made in the Philippines, made in our whole what I mean, American existence as far as products is everything is being imported. We barely have any exports at all. We just consume, 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 consume.
And
Nothing's going
we're manufactured. That's why Tyrell said we have our mature people, but generally you definitely see it different compared to the outside world. That's because we are completely materialistic and bought down to just being consumers. And when you're a consumer with the mindset, I want this, I want that, I need the new this, I need the new that, you're not going to be mature. You're literally a corporate slave. That's what you are. You're literally a corporate slave that's addicted to materialism that don't mean nothing. You place materialism over everything. That's what America is. That's what America is. We're literally the corporation in the flesh. That's what the United States is. Just consumerism, materialism by any cost. If people have to die for us to keep consuming, that's what we're going to do. And then we got the central banks here that's capitalizing off of that because they loaning us the money to consume, 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 consume. And they taxing every dollar, and the American citizens, who are basically the products, have to pay for it. That's why we got high taxes in the United States. That's why we get taxed for every fucking thing here. Other countries, they wouldn't even dare to want to live here. Other people wouldn't even dare to want to live here if they understood how much we get taxed. We get taxed more than any other country in the world because we're a fucking corporation, and they don't even see us as humans. They don't see us as humans. At least, you know why we accept all the chemicals and shit in our food over here that most countries ban? Because our government don't see us as humans. At least in other countries, the government at least take care of their people in that way, to where they're
right.
not poisoning them to death like they do here. That's why Japan don't even accept food from the United States. Like they don't bring any of that shit here, over there, because it's all contaminated with chemicals that they ban. Same thing with a lot of other countries. They don't accept the shit that we accept here.
Nah,
Mm-mm.
they ban every chemical uh product used in their products over there and banned it everything. This country here is still accepted. The FDA approves it, and America really don't do nothing about it. Like
Hell no, they don't do
we don't
nothing about
they don't do nothing about it. We don't say no to any damn thing unless it's some superficial as choices that need to be made. Like we gotta unsubscribe from Netflix or Hulu or some dumb shit. And millions of people are joining in on that, but they won't join in on we gotta get these poisons out the food because it's giving us cancer. You know what I mean? My aunts, my grandma, my daughter, my son, they got cancer. Like we don't band together to do that, but millions of people are band together to unsubscribe from Hulu because some dumb shit happened. Or let's not go to Target because of DEI. But we can't be like, let's stop buying these poison ass products. You know what I mean? So the corporations will be forced to change and use organic ingredients to produce these products. Yeah, we won't do that, but we unsubscribe from goddamn Hulu or don't shop at Target.
Well, you know why? Because a lot of us aren't educated on the shit that's poisoning us. We're more educated on issues like that. Come up with Hulu Hulu been taking advantage of people that's been subscribing to their service and shit, and they got a class action suit. People will
Nah,
be more
or
educated. People will be
yeah,
more
right,
educated about that, or somebody at Netflix did, somebody that's high up at Netflix did something racist, and now we gotta stop. We all gotta unsubscribe because Netflix is racist because somebody over there
right,
did something racist or some shit
right,
like that.
or
Yeah,
some
that's the
type.
type of shit that
Yeah,
people be behind, but they don't. They not educated on the shit that we're being attacked with every day because it's been
right,
normalized. We was
right,
born into it, so we don't realize they wage war against us. We just think it's normal. We're born into a society thinking that we're supposed to get all these strains, autoimmune diseases, and all these weird cancers and all that type of shit. Everybody damn near with diabetes or pre-diabetic and high blood pressure and fucking, you know, high blood sugar and all. We think that's normal. We think that's normal because we was born into it. We don't realize we're being attacked through our food supply, our water supply, and our air. We're not realizing we're being poisoned every day. We're not educated on that. So we don't fight against it because a lot of us aren't educated on that. And when some of us who try to expose it and talk about it, people don't pay attention because they're, like you said, they stuck on uh the shit that's going on with Target and all those type of places because
yeah,
that's what the media want them to focus on.
yeah,
Whatever the
absolutely.
media says. Yeah, I mean, and the media tells you all the poisons are good. They have 20 different commercials on within 10 minutes telling you that, the poisonous products are good that they that they sell us every day. And everything that's mass produced is poison. Because in order for them to mass produce it, they gotta use fillers, they gotta use shit that keep, what I'm saying? They gotta it's always shortcuts they gotta take when they mass produce things.
Uh,
And that usually
uh,
costs us our health or our
uh,
finances or something.
right. Like Shimmy, I hope I'm saying your name right. Like Shimmy, like Shimmy said, lady, stop using gel polish.
No,
Yeah,
that's Lakshmi.
Lakshmi,
Yeah,
Lakshmi, yeah, Lakshmi or Lakshmi. Well, hope I,
Lakshmi. That's the Indian deity
yeah, they said
or
she said
Hindu
stop,
deity.
lady, stop using gel polish. Yeah, because yeah, it's a lot of chemicals they using to produce those products. The hair relaxers, and
Yeah, poison.
yeah, they need a lot of chemicals and and stuff like that just to you know produce those products. And
And that shit's been making us sick for years.
yeah, because
People don't realize that how all that stuff is linked to all the illnesses we have. And that's the shit that people really need
I,
to be worried
I
about.
and I think, and the thing is, a lot of these corporations have a lot of suits against, a lot of lawsuits against them. They just not in the media every day. You know what I mean? They just not in the media because they pay to keep that stuff out of the media. When they get sued, they pay to keep that out the media because a lot of these, you gotta realize, a lot of these corporations are all tied together because they have some of the same a lot of the same shareholders. So you might have,
Hmm.
like, say if you have like this big corporation that produces, hair care products, right? They have lawsuits against them, but these are also the same people that use these networks to promote their products through. Just think about this. They use the networks to promote these products, commercials and all that. So you got to realize these are the same networks that they're sponsoring. So you really think they're going to put in the media that there's billions of dollars of lawsuits against the people that's paying them to sponsor the network so they could promote the product? Look at the scheme in that. If you getting sponsored by these corporations, why would you put something in the media that's going to go against them, that's going to mess up your money? They don't care about the public. That's what I'm saying. They don't care about the general public that millions of people is getting poisoned and dying behind the product. That's why you never see nothing about the class action suits or anything, or the product is doing this to end it because they pay to keep that shit out the media. The media is not going to mess up their own bread by promoting that uh the corporation, this poison that they, commercial on their network that's promoting this poison, is actually killing people. It makes no sense. To them, it don't make sense. So that's how they able to get away with that shit, because they paying to keep that type of shit out the media. They paying to keep the shit quiet. They're not telling you that this product is causing cancer and killing people. You know what I mean? So you gotta look how that shit is all being ran right now. It's all a whole damn scheme, just a whole pyramid scheme. Yes. You know what I mean? That's like McDonald's, but I don't even want to say nobody's name, but that's like, that's like promoting, these networks got all their commercials on there, and knowing that some of these, most of these fast food chains, what they, feeding the people is causing, high amounts of cancer. You think they're gonna have that type of advertisement running at the same time? Oh yeah, you can get this beautiful juicy burger and these crunchy fries and it's delicious. And then they're gonna have a commercial alongside of that. Well, this product here is causing high amounts of cancer and people are dying from it. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't just make sense to them. So they never
That's
gonna tell
true.
they were never gonna get the truth out of the mainstream. Never, ever.
And that's because money, the way they got the money system, it controls everybody. If they print all the money up, the people who's running everything, they print the money out of thin air. You know what I mean? They enter it
Right.
into a system out of thin air. So they can control all these networks by just keep giving them money to talk about what they want them to talk about.
Yeah. That's what's been happening.
Yeah. And then
Because
the people believes it. But now since the internet came, people had a choice
yeah,
of
see
what they want to
that
believe. They didn't have no alternative media or alternative to really turn to that could tell them an alternate story than what the mainstream is, and that's the thing. And
yeah,
that and it worked. Like a lot of people are waking up, but it's
a
still not
lot of
enough.
people waking up. Look, and the thing about it is, you really hear less people. I don't even go to this fast food restaurant and eat no more. I haven't been to this restaurant in 10 years, 20 years. So that's what's the information age is creating more of that. I haven't been to that restaurant in 10 or 20 years. See, I don't want to start saying the names of these mother effers, but y'all know what I'm talking. Y'all catch my drift. I hear a lot of people saying that. Like, I don't even eat from that place. Y'all still eat from there? And you starting to hear more of that. You know what I'm saying? So
And their profits are suffering though.
yeah, they profit. It's all collapsing in on itself. It's all collapsing. It is.
They ain't got they can't print too much money up at this point to keep bailing them out because that's what they used to do. But
Bro,
now the
the whole
profits are so thin now that they
right, man,
they
they
ain't,
got
it
the
can't be
whole
bailing it
government
can't be
shut
bailing
down
them
right
out as much.
now. Right, the whole government shut down right now because they complaining about the budget.
But they still get government
They
officials
go to
still get
God, yeah, they
paid.
gonna get paid.
Like the
Right,
politicians and all the motherfuckers, the
right.
ones who got the ones who's behind the shutdown, they still get paid during
Yeah,
the
they still
shutdown.
gonna get paid. Hell yeah.
It should be a law passed to where they don't get paid if there's a shutdown.
Right.
They shouldn't get paid neither. How the fuck politicians gonna get paid but the other government workers aren't?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Oh, they able to just help themselves to however much money as they want and write it into law. And that's basically what they've been doing. And since they got all that money, they completely separated from the general working man. Like they don't even like they make decisions for the day-to-day working man, but they don't even know how that feels. Cause them motherfuckers don't got no real jobs. They get paid to just sign shit off and then they go golfing. And then everything else is political theater for us.
I hate when they try to show. I hate when they try to show them being normal at the Like, why I gotta have a camera on them at the grocery store and shopping and shit? Like, this shit be weird to me. I'm like, what's up with all this political theater? Like, normally y'all ain't going out shop. Y'all got assistants and You know, people that
Facts.
serve y'all to go out and do all this shit, but they be trying to normalize the hell out of these people. Like I seen them follow
Right.
Kamala Harris and her husband around the grocery store and shit. I'm like, man, y'all get this fake ass shit out of here, bro.
That's propaganda.
Right, but I'm like, y'all just try to normalize the hell out of them. Like, come on now. Come on now. They got they got Ellen and goddamn Michelle walking around the goddamn Target or Walmart, whatever department store they was at, and just throwing shit in the cart. Earphones and all this weird shit. I'm like, why y'all gotta do all this political theater shit? Like, all right, man, they people just like we people. We know that. But they got goddamn Hillary Clinton pulling out hot sauce out the pocketbook and shit. I hate when they do shit like that. I hate when they do shit like that. I'm like, come on, man. Come
That's
on
to
now.
try to make them relatable, but really they
Yeah,
not,
like,
because these are
right.
like
Like, come on,
people
man.
who have access to everything. Like they don't go by, but once you get to a certain status, you
Right.
don't go by the money is for the slaves to believe this person is worth that. This person is, it's like once they reach a certain level within the government or those corporations, they don't
They, they
see
try to
money.
make
They
them
don't have to
relatable.
touch money. They
Right.
just have access to shit. Like it
And
ain't, they don't have to pay for anything. Like it's not even real. Like the money ain't even real. It's only real to the people that it's controlling.
they trying to
And
make
some of these
they
people
right.
aren't controlled by money. They just controlled by the dirty deeds that they got on them tapes and stuff like that. And they just make sure they have access to, because you could give, because you gotta think about it, who runs these credit card companies and all that. They could give anybody a credit card with unlimited shit on there and change your credit score in the system and give you all this fake money on a credit card. Like they could do that with anybody. And you'll have access to anything you want. And that's what they do. They do that. We the only ones that believe you could work up to being a billionaire. Now that's something that's given to you. That's not some shit. That's something that's given to you by a den of thieves. Because there is no damn way you could work yourself up to $1 billion. Ain't that much work in the world. So all this billionaire talk and all that type of shit, it's fake. It's fake. The money system is fake. It's only real to us slaves who have to work hard for it. And you're still at a deficit no matter what. But these people are just printing this money up or entering it into a system digitally out of thin air, like however as much as they want. And because majority of us accept it as money, then it's money then, and
That
they
puts
they
the
got
value on it. Right.
that puts the value on it, and they able to have infinite numbers of it. So that like so they could choose. So that's having infinite numbers of that. That's just mean you got access to everything. It's fake at that point. Y'all get what we said? Like we gotta wake up to this program that they got us sleep in. That we think that this billionaire shit is real. Once you reach up to that much amount of money, it ain't even about money anymore. They just gave you access to certain things. We look at it as money because they got us on those units, and
Units.
that's what keeps us keep coming back to them because we got to keep getting the money. But before the money, most people own land and they created their own products from their own land to live. And they ain't have to depend on keep going out to buy it from a corporation and giving a corporation generational wealth while you just scraping up change just to get by they shit here and there. And it ain't adding up to nothing.
And it ain't it's not even good quality products
It
though.
ain't
Like
even
they
good
got us
quality
buying
products.
they got us working hard to spend money on this bullshit that work.
Yeah,
You know
people
what I mean?
had
Like,
homesteads at one point. They was
yeah.
producing, they had their own animals, they was growing their own crops. Yeah, I mean, even if it was just a family farm, but they changing that shit now. It's like we all been convinced of this so-called American dream with all these suburban houses and these business districts where you can't have farm animals there. You can't do all these different rules and regulations. It's all to keep you away from homesteading and having your own shit to where you always have to depend on the corporations for everything, for your clothing, for your food, for your water, that's how they want it. And then the government could tax all of that. You know what I'm saying? You see how they just stole everything that type of way. And we was all born into it. So we don't see it. We born into it. We think that's how it is. But if you ask, if you fortunate enough to have your great grandparents around or your great grandparents around, and they can tell you how shit used to be, and they tell you that a lot of them own they own family farms and they didn't have to go to the grocery stores to get milk and eggs and shit like that. And they just grew their shit themselves. And they didn't have to worry about the egg prices because they chickens produced enough eggs for their family, even if they wasn't selling any of the eggs. But I mean, even if sometimes they did and sometimes they didn't. But now we sitting here bitching about egg prices because most of us don't have chickens because there's barely any areas that have chickens anymore because they basically government regulated all the shit out of existence. Everything is a business district now. Everything got fucking shopping malls and shopping centers and grocery stores. Yeah, it's convenience, but it's enslaving us at the same time. Because now the prices of that shit is going up because the imaginary money that we got is devaluing. So now we got to work harder for these corporations to buy the products from them. When back in the day, when our ancestors just 200 years ago had their own land and was producing this shit on their own, most of this stuff on their own. We didn't depend on the corporations for all this shit. And that's how they got us. That's how they got us. They got us through this whole fake American dream and all this suburban housing and all these shopping centers and all this type of shit. They got us. They got us. It's like, damn, all that land out there, and we saying ain't enough food for everybody and all this type of shit. You seeing them throwing all this food away because these corporations, if the date is expired, they just throw away a whole bunch of food. A lot of the food be
They
poisonous and
throwing,
shit
yeah,
anyway.
they throwing tons and tons of food
They
away.
throwing tons and tons of food away that people had to work hard to make. Like they throwing away products that people had to put all their hours in to produce those products, taking time away from their family, working hard, paycheck to paycheck, and most of that shit just ends up in a dumpster behind a CVS or fucking Walmart or Rite Aid or something like that. Oh my bad, Rite Aid went out of business. For those of y'all know that live
Yeah,
on the
right. He gone.
East Coast,
Yeah,
yeah, that
right.
shit's gone.
Right. He
But
gone.
anyway, yeah, so all these man hours and all this shit for working hard for a devalued currency that they basically devaluing the currency every day because they keep printing it and printing it and printing it and entering it into a system digitally and it's losing its value. So our prices is going up over here. And the jobs ain't paying shit. And you gotta work extra hard just to pay for some shit that you got cheaper just a couple years ago. But the prices that keep going up. And shit that we used to make on our own. That our ancestors used to make on their own.
Right. That's why we got back into making products because we know that's at
Facts.
these type of times we're gonna have to start making products because
Right.
natural products at that because I
Talk
mean
about it.
you're gonna have to keep. I mean they keeping us dependent on the corporations. And I mean, and the thing is, the shit that we buying, you working so hard for, it, and you just buying bullshit at the end of the day. They got everybody buying. I mean, bullshit, uh, low quality ass products. Like, like, what's the point? That's why you gotta start like we said. Yeah, I mean, if you want real good quality food, you're gonna have to try to find local meat markets and shit like that to get good quality meats and fruits and vegetables and shit like that. Farmers markets that you live close by, or you might have to drive 30, 40 minutes outside of the city just to get good, I mean, to get good quality food and shit for you and your family. You know what I mean? Because all they got us doing is buying prepackaged bullshit that got like 50 million ingredients in the back of the damn product, and you can't even pronounce half of that shit in the back of it. You know what I mean? Or even know what the hell it means. But you consuming it every day, your child consuming it every day. You know what I mean? And then you know, running off to the doctors to get medicated because you don't feel good. You know what I mean? And it's just one big damn scheme. Real talk. Shy Starter says the Zeolite on deck. Every X. I checked. They sold out. Yeah, we getting it back soon on there. Yup. Yup. if you joined the email list, we definitely send out an email when it's back on the shop too. So, but make sure if you ain't shop with us, make sure y'all check out the products on there because everything is high quality made. It's not mass produced. I mean, it's limited. It's a limited edition. You know, because this stuff has to be made, have to be grown in season. Everything is grown in proper season. So whatever we use in our products, whether it's lavender, mint, uh, rose petal, whatever natural ingredient we use is grown in season. You know what I mean? So check out our high quality products that we sell and take advantage of the sale as well. Take advantage of the sale using the code CBDSAVINGS40. You get 50% off on smokes and CBD cigarettes and the gummies, the edibles. Yeah, I mean, make sure y'all go over there and check out the website, 90dayherbals.com. The link is in the description of this video, in the chat, and pinned to the chat. So make sure y'all shop with us. You know what I mean?
Spend $50 or more on CBD smokes.
Get that 40%
40%
off.
off.
I mean, because we know how hard times is, for people right now. So we got this sale running for y'all for right now. So make sure y'all check out. You know what I mean? We ship out pretty fast too. So we appreciate y'all, man, shopping with us. We appreciate y'all liking these videos. We appreciate y'all coming through and supporting the channel. We appreciate that. We're gonna keep this good content rolling. Keep this good information coming too. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and like this video and share it. All right. Like that's anything else we got for the peoples before we roll up out of here. Roll up,
Definitely appreciate y'all. We
out
up
of
out of
here.
here, y'all. Peace.
We appreciate y'all. Peace out.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightanddayherbals.com.